Yeah, hello everyone. You are welcome to another sessions of the training. As you know, we have to be giving you back to back. On this edition is a new service. Very selling well, doing well, high selling, hot selling, high demand, and good buyers. It is called podcast marketing. But you know one thing is that I cannot just be giving you guys skills, training on service to sell without understanding the in and out of it. But today I will combine the two from the word podcast. But let's check people selling the service. Let's check them here. We have to work with them. Now, the first thing you need to do is that just come here like this podcast promotion, podcast marketing. So yeah, let's go. Now, from the word podcast, a lot of people you would have come a YouTube programs, you would have come to YouTube programs. For the podcast promotion, 1000 plus results search bar, but the best keyword for it, targeted keyword for it is called podcast marketing. Around 950 now 981 people. Everything is good here. Now, let me now explain what is called podcast. Podcast is like a program, is an audio, at times is a video. You record and publish on internet. When you record it, you put it on internet. But you know that I always like the kind of training I do give you guys too. I do record it and put it on internet, but there's difference between it. There's difference between a training and a podcast. Now, podcast usually consists of episodes, just like a TV show. You know all those TV show like episode one, episode two. All these children. It can be a children podcast whereby they bring people's like they bring them to a particular program. Talented. I forgot the name of this man. This bad man. He do comes with talented children. He do bring them to a particular show. It can just be an edition with so person. People is always fun, educative. It's always fun, educative, and motivational. Yeah, it's always motivational. And examples of podcast shows, let me give you an instance. You know a program called Maso Yibo. Go and check it. You people that you are Yoruba, go and check Maso Yibo on YouTube. You will see that they are bringing people in just to access them, just to just to test their Yoruba knowledge. That's an example of podcast show. And another one is a guy called Echo Room, like he bring artists. The guy will bring artists to the program, ask them a few questions about their careers, tell them to rap live, sing live. Those are the examples of podcast shows. At times, it can be a talk shows. The talk shows can be on the nutrition, it can be on anything, just a program for people to understand. Even it can be an interview. Don't worry, when you also reach all of fame, they will invite you. They are going to invite you. Yeah, Alaye, come here. How do you make it? How do you do this? How do you do that? Those are the examples of podcast. At times, it can be a storytelling. Now, for this podcast of a 10, for this podcast of a 10, at times, where does it take place? It can take place in a studio. Most times, it can be in a studio. It can be in your quiet room. It can be at home. Anybody can, the host anywhere. Just that the guest just to come. Even some podcasts at times can be only you. Yes, it can be only you. If you always listen to all this gospel preaching, you see that they will be preaching in an audio format, citing an examples. It always inspirational. It always inspirational. When you listen to those ones, it can be audio, it can be videos. So those are the examples. Now, what do you need to start a podcast? You just need a microphone. You record with your microphone, and if your voice is good enough in a quiet place, or with your, but it will not be proper if you are bringing someone to show without microphone. And also a recording software. There are a lot of recording software. There are a lot of recording software like Audacity, Ableton, Cubase. A lot of recording software is out there. Now, the reason I'm going back so that you guys can really understand what it is all about is that when you meet some buyers will not even need podcast marketing only. They will need podcast editing. They are going to the show, but they want you to handle the aspect of how their presentation will go, so that it will not be like the only thing you know about podcast is podcast marketing, how to market it, how to promote it. That's why I'm going back. Now, how to start a podcast. You pick a podcast topic and audience. What do you want to talk about? Who want to listen to it? Just like I'm here now, I'm doing a training for you guys. I know that freelancers, people who want to upgrade their skills, they are those people that will listen to this. Now, let us say I prepare a training. I prepare a training on football debate. How many people have interest in listening to, my target audience when I'm growing this audience, when I'm growing this community is based on freelancing. I cannot just come all of a sudden go out of the topic. Some of you will even you will leave the channel, you will leave the community. Now, what will you talk about when you are picking a podcast topic? You choose a subject you love or know well. It can be a faith, it can be money, it can be motivation, it can be tech, it can be stories, it can be business. And second thing is, who are you speaking to? Who are your audience? What is your community based on? Are they business owner? Are they music lover? Are they youth? Are they spiritually inclined people? And another thing is that whenever you are starting a podcast, name your podcast. Our own community is called Exceptional Pass. I'm exceptional, you're exceptional, everybody is exceptional. So when you are naming your podcast, let it have a catchy title. It can be Hustle Room, it can be Hustle Room, it can be Eight Figures Gang. You know all those things now. So you have to give it a good name. And another thing is, design a podcast cover art. Podcast cover, like a thumbnails, like something that represents your podcast. Make sure it is attractive. Make sure it is very good. It is attractive. And most times, the recommended size for it when you are designing is 1400 by 1400 pixel. Understand that, because when you are dealing with the promotions, someone can even tell you, I want to start it. Understand everything you need to know. Now, recording your episode, you use your phone, you use your laptop mic. You are a freelancer. When that buyers want to record, you just tell him, oh, get a laptop mic, get a mic. You have to get a mic. Make sure your room is neat. Get a background. You give him the advice as an expert, and you just tell him, as an expert, you understand the topic. You know what the buyer want to talk to. So you create little content, the questions to ask the audience. And if it's about him only, like it's the only one single person podcast, you highlight the title, you just give him some hints. That for people that go to school, all of us go to school. When they define something, they will say it can be defined, followed by type, followed by after type, importance, problem. You know how it's arranged. You make sure everything is structured. It's for people that want to be dealing with podcast editing service. Editing service can be in a content, it can be in a video. For the video, you copy it and you make sure like there are some transition. Like a normal movie, if you watch scene one, maybe someone slaps someone, blah blah blah. You know that in the scene two, before the scene two, there will be something. There will be something like maybe they show road. Yoruba movie, they can just show express in Lagos before transiting to another one. But with the software you will be using for your video editing, like Camtasia and others, the transition can just be, you will just be, the next actions will be coming with effect, like ish, bish. You know how it works like that. Like another thing, maybe they play a particular key on keyboard, it it prefix the next actions. Everything will not just be like you just your eyes will just open like ABC. There will be an animation sliding in, sliding out. I'm combining the podcast editing with the podcast marketing. So the content, the voice, you make sure that there is no noise. You can make use of some software called denoiser to remove every noise, background noise, every noise associated with the podcast shows. And you remove some parts. when maybe it's a two-person, there's a host and guest, and the guest is going out of the question, you cut it. And there are some things like you make sure those things don't sound completely, like the word fork. When it comes to fork, you have to put some fork effect, like you just type it out on the podcast show like fork, so the effect will be on it. It will like be fu star 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 star. You will not write it completely. White people, they don't want to be hearing all those things. You understand that? So you edit it, you remove noise, errors, and you add background music. You have some motivational background music, and don't add eerie music. Because something eerie music, EEERIE, what it does is that, some background things that will be scaring, don't add it to your podcast shows. Now, once the podcast is ready, you will not you have to upload it. But this is how it works. This is how it always work. uh for podcast show, you don't go and upload to YouTube, upload to Spotify, upload to Apple Music directly. No, they don't do podcast. That's why podcast is different. That's what make podcast different from another, or just like uploading, this YouTube video now, after all this, so I just upload it directly. No, they don't do podcast like that. This is what they do. They go and upload it to podcast host. Let me type it out, because some people, if I see you coming messaging me again on this free training, this is a premium training. Appreciate all our people that are in the premium class. They are the one that do give me go ahead, like, oh yeah, share it to people, but in that class too, there's another class. There's a trick how you can set this thing very well. That's why I do recommend join to for some trick. Now, immediately your podcast show is ready. You have edited, you have removed all the rubbish, everything is perfect, everything, no error, nothing is good. You will not go and upload directly. You need to go to podcast host. Now, I will tell you what they do. Actually, the most recommended is Spotify, because it is 100% free and beginner friendly. Spotify is highly recommended. Spotify is highly recommended. Is highly recommended because it is 100% free. It is 100% free. Yeah, it is 100% free and beginner friendly. Now, I want to tell you something now. One thing is that about this podcast, before I go further, I want to explain what this podcast host does. All these podcast host, yeah, what they do is that all these podcast hosts is that immediately before you do anything, before you upload to anywhere, you upload it to this host, and this host will now give you what we call RSS feed link. RSS, see, this is what I'm saying. RSS feed links. Immediately you upload to them, they give you RSS feed links. If we come to Spotify here now, I want to show you something like here. If you come to Spotify here, I want to show you something here. Where is the Spotify? I want to show you something here. Uh, where is it go? Okay, this is the Spotify. You see Broad Podcast here. You see things here. If you sign up now, you will be able to upload your podcast. You'll be able to upload your podcast. Now, this, like I said, you will not go and upload directly. You go and upload it on the podcast host. If we sign up now, you are going to see, it's going to show you when you want to add something here now. You sign up for free. Let me move this. You sign up for free. So when you sign up for free here, you sign up for everything. There's a podcast sessions there where you can upload your podcast to. Why? Is that you are not uploading directly to as audio files. You are not upload it for people to just listen, but you want the RSS feed. Why do you need the RSS feed? Immediately you have your RSS feed link. This is what it does. There are some, this is what I mean. Let me explain. Podcast hosts, they are like a middleman. They will only give you, they will convert all your audios, they will convert all your audio file, everything, all the SEO content you put there, like the title, the descriptions, the audio file, everything. They will make sure they combine everything They will make sure they turn them to what? They turn those things, they turn them to links. Now, that link, whenever you now get that link, before we proceed, let me just give you an example before we proceed. Are you getting it now? This is what they do. Whenever they convert it to your uh whenever they convert everything, they help you to convert everything to the link. You will now go to like Apple. If you want to upload that podcast to an Apple, it will be easier. It will be very, very, very it is going to be very, very easier for you. You will just paste your link to the Apple. Automatically all the informations on that RSS link, the audio files or the video files, the um the audio files, the video files, everything is going to be uploaded to Apple Music. I believe you can understand what I'm explaining you. Whenever the podcast shows is ready, whenever the podcast shows is ready, yes, whenever it is ready, you will upload it to the podcast host. Podcast, let me help you type it here, because some people, they will not get it. From ready-made podcast shows, it can be audio, it can be video. It is going to podcast host. Podcast host will convert it to RSS feed link. It is that RSS feed link you will be uploading to the media. Are you getting it now? If you want to upload it to Apple Music, that's what you are going to put there. Now, example of podcast host that can help you with the RSS, that can convert your podcast shows to RSS feed link. Example is Spotify. Spotify is there. Spotify is there. Spotify is there. Apple is there. Apple is there. Like I said, Apple, it is they are there. Apple Music. People love to listen to. People always love to listen to the Apple Music. So, because your buyer might say he is not familiar with one, or he or she may have interest in another podcast host. Example that I will add to the list is Anchor. Anchor is free. Just notice that. Let me type it out. Podcast host example. Podcast host example. Example of podcast host. So number one, we have Anchor, because Anchor, they are free. So it is free. So just understand that Anchor is free. They are easy to use for beginners. Automatic distribution to major platforms. They are very easy. And if you want to distribute it, so they have automatic distribution. Let's say you use Anchor now as your podcast host. You use Anchor as your podcast host now. They give you a RSS link. Automatically, they can help you distribute it to Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Let me give you an instance. We call something music distribution. As a music producer, experienced music producer, if you want to promote your music, we call something digital store. Those digital stores, they are music distribution companies. Like, some of you will be amazed, like, how is Sheyi Vibe uploading his music to Audiomack, Apple Music, Spotify? Who is handle that? See, those music distribution companies, once you partner with them, you have registered with them, everything is set up on their own part. You just give them one music. They are the one that will be automatically uploading it everywhere. That's why if there is a copyright issues on a particular platforms, you can remember the issue that happened between Saheed Osupa and Portable recently. Portable has to steal from Saheed Osupa's songs that he has composed for a long period of time. Should I sing it for you? Don't worry. Though he recreates it in another way, but he stole the part. When we are talking about stealing a part, he's not even using a section, a whole part. Now, automatically, without even Saheed Osupa aware of it, without even knowing, without even the music distribution company, they are the one that fights for him. That's just how it works. For the podcast too, when you upload to podcast host is not the manager. They will be the one that will be distributing. So for the Anchor, they will help you with automatic distribution to major platform. We have Podbean. Free plan is available there. Let me just give you you will go and work on them because it's going to take much of our time, and you guys are lazy to watch video. Everything. My people, 6 minutes, they are done with 2 hours video. No problems with that. So another example, we have Podbean. Podbean is there. Podbean is there. Another example, we have Boss Sprout. Boss Sprout is there. Another example, we have Libsyn. Libsyn is there. Another example, we have Transistor. Transistor. They have the advantages. Some are free. Some require you to be pay monthly. But be focused on those free ones. Your buyer. They might not want to be paying much. So another one is Simplecast. Is there. Another one is Spreaker. Is there. Another one is Red Circle. Red Circle is also there. Another one is podcast.co. It is there. Another one is Castors. Castors is good. Yes, they're good, but they have unlimited storage. Yeah. And also we have Anchor by Spotify. We have Blubbery. Blubbery is also there. We also have free podcast hosts, a lot of them. So let me now give you an example of free podcast hosts. We have Anchor is there. Podbean is free. Buzzsprout is free. Spreaker is free. Red Circles, they are free. Just note what the podcast host does. So now, Spotify is great because it has free podcast hosting, easy distribution. Monetization is also good. Like you can monetize it because when people are listening to your podcast, ad will be showing. Ad can show, and as ad is showing, you will be paid. You will get paid for the advertisement. And listener donation. Let's say you want donation, it can also pop up. Also, Spotify also has a recording and editing tools. It really do great. It really works well. So this is what I want you to understand is that RSS feed. You upload your shows to podcast tools. They give you RSS feed, and you submit the RSS feed to other directories. Let me give you an example. Let's say you want it to be. Let's say you host your podcast on Anchor, and you want it to be on Apple Podcast. You want it to be on Apple Podcast. You want it to be on Google Podcast. You will just go to Apple Podcast. You will paste your RSS feed link. Automatically, you won't be needing to be typing title again, description again. SEO you have done on that podcast shows. Everything will appear. On also Google Podcast too. You paste it there. Stitcher too. Stitcher. These are the necessary. Now, this is an essential part of the promotion. Let's say these are the directories you can upload to. Directories you can upload your podcast to. Example of those directories, we have Apple Podcast. Apple is there. Google Podcast is there. Immediately is there, they will help you to upload it to Google Music. So Google Podcast is there. And also Stitcher is there. Stitcher is there. Tunnel is there. Tunnel is there. Overcast is there. Overcast. Pocket Cast. Pocket Cast is there. Pocket Cast is there. And also let me scroll down so that you guys can see the screen very well. And also iHeartRadio is a long. I've known this iHeartRadio because there is a particular guy that sells service on Etsy. That guy is very crazy. Let me show you. He used iHeart for promotion. Etsy promotion. The guy has been on Fiverr for a lot of, let's say, more than, let's say, 5 to 6 years now, and he's not selling any other service than Etsy promotion with iHeart. I want to show you him because that guy, if we can find the guy, it should be okay. You will see that he used iHeartRadio for Etsy promotion, and he do make sales. He do get sales for people. But we check it now. Etsy promotion, iHeart. Let me just search for iHeart because the guy and iHeart, they are doing well. They are doing well. So let me try to check here. No, we are not supposed to be checking someone else. Gig. I'm very sorry. Now, so iHeartRadio is there. Amazon Music is there. When you want to upload to Amazon Music, you don't need the essence of podcast shows. Let me tell you, the essence of podcast show is that instead of you to be copy paste here, copy paste this there, to handle them at once, it will be hard. Just paste your RSS feed given to you by your podcast shows. You will just see that everything is what? Everything is easier. Everything is very, very easier. That's just it. Now, when we are now talking about this podcast marketing, I want you to understand the sessions that really matters to you. When we are talking about the podcast marketing, let me scroll down like this. Let me refresh this. Podcast marketing is a simple thing, not something that is very hard. From the word podcast, from the word marketing, that means you want to market your podcast. It is something similar. It is something very, very it is very, very similar to music promotion, but there's just difference between them. When you have your podcast ready, from the word podcast marketing means process of promoting a podcast to grow its audience. To grow your audience, is a podcast is like a community. To grow your audience, to increase listens or download, like you want a lot of people to listen to it. In another word, we do call it streaming. When they release a song, we said they are streaming. So you want to increase the listing or download. You want to improve engagement, like people to getting engaged, and also potentially monetize the content. People must monetize. So you must monetize, because imagine you have a larger community like 1 million listener, and they will be paying you. Now, podcast marketing, the strategy of marketing your podcast. Number one, we have promotions and distributions. I've explained. Promotion and distribution is you putting it on Apple, Google Podcast, Teacher, Turning In, Overcast, Pocket Cast, iHeart Radio, Amazon Music, and lots more. You put them on those platforms. You distribute it normal. And also, even if you even move the podcast, yeah, even if you move the podcast, you move the podcast to all those platforms. Now someone should ask, what of YouTube and TikTok? YouTube and TikTok, they don't make use of RSS feed. Their own, upload it directly. But there is also a strategy whereby you can make sure uh, TikTok has its own music distribution. You can partner with them. You can sign up with them. You can sign up with them. They will handle it for you. They are going to help you also. They will help you also handle it. Now you're supposed to ask me one question. Okay, let's say like I my buyer, or we host the podcast on Anchor, and for TikTok that don't have RSS feed, what if I now partner with their music distribution? When you want to on TikTok there is a section that for artists. If you go to your profile settings, you will see a section for artists. That's where you can partner with them. It's going to be another class. It's going to be another video if there is need. You're supposed to now say, won't there be confusion? Won't there be like, I've already put it on Anchor. Anchor has helped me put it on Apple, Google, Stitcher, Amazon Music, a lot more. Would there be contradictory based on the each company policies, terms and conditions? Yes. Whenever you are uploading on TikTok on that session, it's going to ask you, do you partner with a particular company? You say yes. It will now tell you, it's not going to tell you. When you now choose yes, that means only the TikTok aspect is where the music distribution is going to be. Or if there are some another places that Anchor cannot extend their hands to because it is free, you can tell TikTok, okay, oh yeah, help me to put on for audio mark, help me to do this, help me to do that. So promotion and distribution is the first aspect in podcast marketing. The second aspect is called SEO optimization. SEO optimization is not something that should be very new to you. It's going to appear on the keywords, the title and descriptions. How to put the tags, what people can search. Everybody knows that. That Sheyi Vibes that just released Shaolin Temple where when they are saying gbogbo yín lẹ máa dààmú, Anthony violin. You know, one thing is that when you now include all the major when you now put those some tags and keyword into that music, it will be easy to locate. Now let's say I want to write the title. Everybody know that Shaolin Temple by Seyi Vibes. You know, you can put all those things there. Even in the keyword, you can put Losheyi. You know, all those the most targeted keyword. You put everything into that podcast title, descriptions, everything. Now the third aspect is called social media promotion. You know, for social media promotion, we call something snippet. We call something snippet. Snippet of the podcast. You know, there are some podcast shows like, let's say, I want to, I talk about how some freelancers are lazy. I talk about how some people are really lazy, are lazy. Yeah, you know, when I'm talking about how people are really lazy in my podcast show, if I want to do social media promotions, people will not listen to even this YouTube girl that everybody know that the content I release that is free, it is called freemium. They know that from A to Z they must not miss. Will you believe that people will be fast forwarding within 7 minutes they complete 3 hours course? I know that. What is telling me is that don't do a long video. If not for this one is important, I would have short it. I will shorten the videos for you guys. I will shorten the videos for you guys. So you know, people don't want to listen like 3 to 7 minutes averagely. You will now bring snippet out of the podcast like you will never make money. Another slide will show you. Yes, you will never make money. People want to listen to why they will not make money. Those are the snippet. Those are the things you need to understand. The clips. You extract the snippet out. You now promote it. You post it. You post it on social media, on your social media pages. You put it there. Even on, you can even make use of social media influencer marketing. Like, you know, people that are trading on social media. You know, Pella, you can write to his team. I want to do some promotion. You could remember when Pella and Olamide do some collaboration then. Olamide want to release a music then, and they make use of social media influencer marketing for the podcast. Now, another thing is the content strategy. You know, for the content strategy, you can create a for your podcast show, you can create an edutainment. I mean something. Edutainment means something that is educative and also entertaining at the same time. You can create content on it. It can be a video content, it can be a PDF, it can be all those things. You offer it for people so that uh, they can listen to it, they can understand it. You can create a short drama. If you say, you know, this gospel podcast, you can create a short drama of devils and people, and your podcast is about the power of prayer. So when they now make that so prayer, devil die. You know, you know how we create things in this world. You need to understand that. Now we are now moving to another aspect, which is the second sections of this training. The second sections of this training is going to be on how are you going to sell. Actually, out of 100% strategy, for you know, this is free. I will not release everything, but I will just show you something. So actually, this is what you need to do. Make use of USA account. USA account is the first thing you need to understand. USA account. Just understand that. Just understand that USA account is what you are focusing on. You are focusing on USA account. That's number one thing. Number two is that this you know, one thing is that I will just give you some free keywords because of some people that are, you know, some people they are unable to uh they are unable to get SEMrush. That's number one. They are unable to join the mentorship. So those keywords are those ones you are going to use, and the other strategy is on the mentorship class. I want you to stay tuned, guys. Just stay. So I'm still extracting the keywords for you guys. Just hold on. So pending the time that SEMrush will load, another strategy is also email marketing. You know, you can set up an email campaigns. You can do that. Your podcast link can be there. And another one is guest outreach. The reason why I'm telling you all these things is that whenever you want to talk to buyer, you want to upsell buyer, you know what you talk to them for the strategy you are applying, because some people just say podcast marketing, I will do marketing, no need, you go collect am for $20, something you supposed to receive more than $1,000 for. Now, guest outreach, let me tell you what is meant by guest outreach. Guest outreach, we at times we do call it bloggers outreach. Why is that? You go to some there are some blogs, there are some websites, let me call it blogs, yes, let me call it blogs. There are some blogs that on their website, on their blog site, there are a lot of traffic. So you just talk to them. There are two ways you can work with them. The first way is to give them an offer. You can give them, you can also give them a backlinks. You can run a backlinks from your blogs or from one blog to another. Like you create a content related to their blog. You create a content related to their blog and you send, and you send a link. You hyperlink, you put a link on your website to their website, so that when people are reading something, to read in full about it, to understand more about it, when they click your website, it go to that website. That means you offer them free backlinks. You can now talk to them. I have a podcast, please, I just want you to upload it. You can create a content on it. Some of them will request for money, though Google don't support buying backlinks. They hate it. They hate it, but they will not know. There's no way they will know. They are not going to know. But if it is the only solution, they say you should pay them, because you get a lot of traffic, you get a lot of listening, and you make a lot of money. And another thing, another strategy you can make use of is also community building. It do takes time. Those buyers will not have time for that, but you can talk to them. It's also part of it, since you are going to have a long partnership with them, as you are doing the promotion with one hand, using another hand for the engagement. Now, how to get the gig writing? Come to your SEMrush like this. Keyword overview, we are dealing with keyword. That's what we are working with right now. So um that's what we are working with right now. But this one is loading. But as an example, on your Fiverr, you have a basic, standard, and premium. For your basic package, you can make it podcast distribution. You make use of podcast host for them to distribute it, generate the RSS feed link. You can make it a basic package, and you can add creative social media caption and hashtag, design episode. It can be in episode by episode, promo and banners. And if the buyers come for podcast planning, maybe it's the service podcast planning or podcast editing, if the podcast show can be in episode, try to figure it out. A podcast that is going for more than 49 minutes, 1 hour, make it episode by episode, because people will not take their time listening to 3 hours, 4 hours podcast show. So for the standard, it can be social media management, managing your buyers Instagram, YouTube, Twitter for podcast update, posting engaging content like reels, audiograms, and the likes. And for the premium, you can combine everything with podcast SEO, guest posting, blog outreach, cross promotions, and the likes. Are you getting it, guys? You can make it like that. Now you come here like this, because I want everything to be done within 40 minutes. You just search for podcast marketing. So for the podcast marketing, we are dealing with fiverr.com. That's what we are accessing. So we click on search. We click on search. We are waiting for the outcomes. Don't make sure you listen. If you miss any aspect, don't come to me, except my premium people. Don't come to me and be saying this and that, it's unfair. Just listen to all the training. Don't miss any part. Now, for this podcast marketing, let's view the keywords here. Let's view the keywords here. We can see that the keyword difficulties is very hard. You can see likely questions people ask: how to market your podcast, what are the best stock market podcasts, how big is the podcast. You don't know all these things, they are not related. But you see this one: how to promote a podcast, marketing for podcast launch strategy, marketing on podcast PR agency, that is public relation agency, This should be on your profile. It is very important to be on your profile because on your gig, event planning will be there, but I won't talk much because there are remaining 3 gigs. I've already mentioned some because some of you can create out of what I've trained so far. You can podcast marketing is there, podcast editing is there, podcast launching strategy is there, like this one, it is there. So the third one can be podcast banner for social media management, but there is a related service that is selling like crazy, very selling hard. It is really selling well. On mentorship class, I've already dropped them, but for you, be managing podcast people, make sure you are managing your podcast. Let them also be managing that one. I've really tried. This is a premium training, and I will now tell you how people are making money badly on this service. They are making money because there is one thing about this service. This service is a trending service, is a new service, not new, but on Fiverr, for them to have a special database server for it, is a trending service. So if you are selling podcasts, automatically event promotion service will come in, webinar traffic will come in, Zoom traffic will come in, YouTube traffic will come in, TikTok traffics will come in. I want you to understand that. Under just understand that. I want you to really understand that. Now, this is podcast marketing. You are going to see everything, related keywords that you can use. Just note them down as I'm giving you. Just make sure you note everything. You note it down. Try to start working on it. USA account. Make sure you make use of USA account. This is loading. So this is loading. You can see here. You can see something here. Podcast marketing, you can see, is an informational intent. So you can see the personal keyword difficulties, that is hard, but it is possible to get rank for it. So podcast marketing is part of keyword you are using. Marketing podcast, make sure it is in your tag. It is in your tag. That one is in your tag. Now I want to show you something here. Social media marketing podcast is another keyword you must combine with it. Podcast marketing agency is another keyword. It must be there. Podcast PR, it is called public relation. It should be there. Podcast marketing strategy should be there. Social marketing podcast should be there. Digital marketing podcast should be there. Best marketing podcast, like I said, content marketing podcast should be there. Affiliate marketing podcast, it should be there, but in a reduced number. Maybe it appear once or twice. Legal marketing podcast, not really. You don't really need much about that. Inbound marketing podcast, yes, make sure this one is also there. Podcast marketing, like, I've really tried for you guys. Go and enjoy it. I want positive feedback. I want you to come and give me a lot of feedback. I want you to come a lot of order. I wish you the best of luck. I wish you is selling faster. Let me show you before I go, because I don't want to miss anything about this podcast. See, 981 people. 981 people. You see them? You see them? My gig is there, but I will not show you because some people, that's what they are going to copy. You see them here? You see level 1. Everybody are enjoying. Because do you know why it is boosting them? Is that I said this service, the how they program the algorithm for this service, it is not an algorithm that stand on its own. They link it to some others in marketing, to some other field like social media, YouTube. So it's going to be sharing traffic. It's going to be sharing traffic like them. It's going to be sharing traffic like them. Go and get it. Go and write it. Go and get it done. Make use of all those keywords. Make use of the tags. I've already given you the essential keyword. Write them out. Make sure it is there. Enjoy. Don't be lazy. Come and give me feedback. Love you guys. Love everyone. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and follow us. Thank you.